What's up folks, and welcome back to the garage. Today I will try to find out why this Peugeot's alternator doesn't charge the battery. Now when the engine is running, we should get about 14.4 or something like that to the battery. But as you can see, we get only 12.21, which is the voltage that actually the battery gives at the moment. So it seems that the alternator is not charging the battery at the moment. But next I will measure the voltage from the positive post from the alternator. As you can see, the alternator is running like it should be, and it doesn't keep any strange noises. And now I measure the voltage from the alternator, and as you can see, it's the same 12.2. So now I know that I don't have any voltage loss between the alternator and the battery. So it seems that I have something wrong with the alternator. But before I take the alternator away, I will do a second test. Before I take the alternator away, I will just want to make sure that I get the sense from the ignition switch to alternator, because it needs some voltage to know that it's time to charge the battery. So I have the wire here, and I have also already connected it to the multimeter, and now it's 0 voltage, but we shall see what's gonna happen when I put the power on. I turn the ignition switch like that. Now we should have 12 point something. Yes, we have 12.18. So now we know that we get the sense from the ignition switch. So that's also in order. So next I will take the alternator away and I will check the brushes, because I think that might be the reason why this alternator doesn't work. I have been watching a lot of alternator videos from the YouTube, and now I understand somehow that how it works. But that was interesting, or actually that was very important to know that I don't get any voltage out of the alternator, because if there would be 14.4 coming out from the positive post from the alternator, then I would know that I have a major voltage lost somewhere. And now I even know how to measure that with the multimeter, but I was lucky I don't have to do that. Now I just have to fix the alternator. To get the alternator away, first I have to loosen that bolt from there, and then this tighten mechanism here. I will loose that bolt there and take that nut away from there, and then take this bolt away and this belt away. And of course, before everything, I have to take the wire from positive post away. To take that bolt away from the bracket, so then I could get the alternator away. The belt is actually also, I think, quite old. As you can see, there's some pieces missing, and it's It's look quite old, so I should change this at the same. But positive is that this is very silent, as you can hear. So I think the bearing is in quite good condition. Okay, the alternator is very dirty, but I will clean it first and then we decide what we will do next. I managed to clean this alternator quite well, and now it's time to take it into parts. First I will take the plastic cover off, like that, and then I will take these two screws away, which are holding the voltage regulator. I have to say that I'm not an expert on alternators, so I have been watching a lot of YouTube about alternators. First the connector away, and then okay, I have to take the screws first, like that. The first one and the second one. It will be interesting to see what kind of condition the brushes are, because I think this alternator might be quite old, like that. Okay, the brushes actually are surprisingly in quite good condition. Okay, they are worn, but I think these still should work, I think. And otherwise it seems to be quite okay. The axle, okay, it's also a little bit worn, but it should be okay. Now I don't know what's wrong with this alternator. I think it might be this regulator, because in this model the brushes are in the same unit with the regulator. These are something like 10 to 15 euros. I just checked, but you can see the brand. It's Paris Ron. I haven't heard about that before. I watched from the Google that they at least have made alternators, but I haven't found this kind of regulator yet. And I also wanted to know if this is working or not, but it's quite tricky to test, and I don't have that kind of tools or knowledge how to do that test, so I have to put this aside for a while, because I have a spare alternator. This is from my spare engine, but I don't have a knowledge if this is working. It's a little bit corroded, so I think the engine has been outside for a while. But if I take these brushes away, they are also in surprisingly good condition. So next I will clean this alternator properly, and I will put this on, and we will check if this is working. The brushes are actually in quite good condition, but there's the ground. It's a little bit corroded, but I will clean this first. And there's the plus. Here it's also corroded, and the plus side will contact this one, and I will also clean this one and the ground point. So we will see if this alternator works. This is not in perfect condition, because you can hear the noise coming from the bearing, and I can feel. Actually now I can't feel. I thought I can feel the slack, but I think that's noise is coming from the bearings. Yeah, now I can feel there's a little bit slack there. But I will test this alternator, so then we will know that will it work or not. job done. The old new, my spare alternator is there. They are exactly same size, so that's good news. And this is actually Bosch alternator, so I think it might be a little easier to get the spare parts for this alternator, maybe. But next I have to put the positive post and the sense there, and after that we can do a test start and we can measure if this gives something like 14.4, I hope. Finally, I managed to connect the wires. This is slightly different, this alternator, and the connectors are down there. So it's quite tight gap here, so my hand doesn't fit from this direction, so I had to do some things under the car, and the visibility is not perfect, so it took a while, but now it's done. Next I will take the charger away and connect the battery, and then we can measure, can we get the 14.4 or something like that volts from that alternator. Now I want to know, now we will know how much voltage we get after charging. Oh yes, 12.7, that's a good. And now when I start the car, I hope it doesn't go under 10, and I hope we get 14.4 or something like that when it's running. So then we would have a working alternator, but we will know soon. Yes, we have working alternator, as you saw, exact 14.4. So that's perfect. And I didn't hear any strange noises. So it's quite quiet, and it seems to work okay. But I will try to find spare parts for that original, or I don't know actually if it's original alternator for this car, but for that Paris-Rhône alternator, because it would be nice to have a working spare alternator on my shelf. So that would be great. If you have good tips where to find that kind of voltage regulator, that would be great. But hey, thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up and comments down below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do it right away, and also remember to press the bell. Thanks for watching and see you soon!